What does FIWB mean?
Um, it means fuck it, we ball. Or you can't tell that to your mama or auntie, you can tell that it stands for forever inspired with bravery. However you choose to take it, they both mean to go for it, take risks, and apply actions to your vision.
Oh, hey y'all. I am Kiani, the responsible homegirl. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is episode 3 of Think Like a Mogul. And I am so excited because we have one of my closest friends on the episode. Like I always say at the beginning of each episode, Think Like a Mogul is basically just a storytelling series of entrepreneurs from South Carolina who basically turn their idea into a vision that other people believe in. They've been able to capitalize off of it. Sometimes it's very easy for us to look on social media and say, dang, this person is super successful. They might be lucky. They must be blessed, whatever. All of that stuff may be true, but at the end of the day, I want everybody to see how much work it takes to build something from the ground up. So before I continue talking y'all head off, I want to get into today's episode. Like I said, it's episode 3 of Think Like a Mogul. So Tevin, thank you so much for being on. I appreciate you. How you feeling today?
Feeling good, appreciate you for having me on a responsible homegirl. Mediocrity is unacceptable. That's facts.
Period.
Good.
So
all with you?
Huh?
That all is well with you?
Oh yeah, everything is good. I'm good. Can't complain at all. So just to get started, can you tell the people a little bit about yourself, your background, what kind of molded Tevin into the person that he is today?
Okay, so originally I am from Maryland, Oxon Hill, Maryland, PG County. I moved to Charleston, South Carolina when I was like 9 years old. It wasn't always easy growing up, typical. It's a similar story to a lot of people. Single mom, dad wasn't really there like that. Financial issues. And we moved back to Charleston, my mom's hometown. And just like not having when I was younger and always wanting when I was younger made me into a hustler, made me figure out ways to get what I want. And that's what created Let's Get Rich, the mindset.
Oh, I love it. So you said it created Let's Get Rich, the mindset. So when I hear Let's Get Rich, and y'all, we twinning today with our shirts. Let me show y'all. I got mine tied up. But when you say, I love it. When you say Let's Get Rich, the mindset, take us back to, Tevin's younger version mindset and how that has kind of evolved through the years.
Like looking back at the younger me, I always been an entrepreneur. I just didn't know it. Like I didn't know that was what it was called with what I was doing. Like I just always knew that I was a hustler, since selling candy out the lockers, since cutting grass for money, since I'm talking about when I was in elementary school, when we used to get off the bus, right? Everybody used to get off the bus. They used to come to my house and I used to sell my snacks at the house.
My mom, snacks.
Yeah, my mom was a teacher, so after the after school events and all that other stuff, we used to always have the extra snacks and bring them home. I used to come and sell them for the Lolo. I've always been a hustler.
So have you I would say because you had that entrepreneur bug, you kind of felt like now growing into the Tevin that you are, you was basically meant to be your own boss, meant to be an entrepreneur? Or is that you saw growing up?
Right, every piece of the process, I done had experience not knowing that that season of my life was going to mold me for today, mold me for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So it's different trials and tribulations I went through early in my life that I was exposed to prepared me for today's situations or tomorrow's situations.
Okay. So now let's fast forward. Let's talk about Tevin, who leaves Wadmalaw, who leaves Charleston. how did like you leaving home, going to college help you become like, Mr. Let's Get Rich himself? Talk to us about that. Like, I want to get deep into your journey, your mindset, all of that good stuff.
All right, so leaving high school, I went to St. John's High School. I'm from Wamala Island, South Carolina, located in Charleston. And at high school, I was a cool. I call myself to be a cool dude. I was in the sports, so the athlete. I used to rap back in the day. I kind of already had like a name for myself, like a positive name for myself. And so going to college, also I went to a small high school too. It wasn't a lot of people, so it's like you're known, like everybody knows you. So going to college, I got a chance to be exposed to a lot of people because I went to a small high school, like graduated with like 40 people. So
I thought my high school class was small. I graduated with probably like 115.
See, yeah, like nah. And so like going to college, it just put me around some more creative and just the networking, like all together, like just meeting people, the whole experience, the 9 yards, like it just like it forced me to mold. Like college gonna force you to grow, like because you independent now, like you making mistakes and learning from it, and I did a lot of that. And in that process, I got a chance to network with a lot of people. I got a chance to help people who were messing up and learning as they go in and stuff like that, and vice versa. So the networking was crazy in college, man. I just had a lot of fun and met a lot of positive people trying to do good stuff for themselves.
And I love that what you said, like college kind of like, it forces you to grow up, because me and you, we were having a conversation the other day talking about, I'm not telling y'all no lie. If I had to go to college through COVID, I probably would not be in college. And the reason why is because I said the college experience is more valuable than the college degree. And when I said that, Tevin was like, "You right." Because it really is like when you go to college, you network with people, you get exposed to different stuff that you wouldn't have gotten exposed to, like growing up in a small town, like how me and you are from. So just having the chance to be around other people, learning more about yourself, making those mistakes that you talk about, that really kind of forces you out of your comfort zone and makes you try new stuff and just, do stuff that you always or probably wouldn't have never done before.
Right. Most definitely.
So now talk to us about the creation of Let's Get Rich. How did you birth that baby? How did you even do it? Because sometimes there are a lot of people who want to start a brand, want to do something, but they may feel like, oh, I don't have the capital. I know your story, so tell the people your story.
All right, so like Let's Get Rich is more than just like a brand. It's like really, like I said earlier, it's a mindset, and it's promoting the mindset for real. And so like Let's Get Rich, like I always been saying Let's Get Rich since I was like in high school and stuff like that. Like I said, that was always my vibes. Like my friends call me Banks. Like that I would just always like a hustler little dude, like always. So really how it all came. So I always seen the vision. I always had the vibe, the energy, Let's Get Rich, like all that. But when I started applying actions to my vision, is what you're probably asking, is when I was in college, my senior year. I was about to graduate. Probably like, I think it was like 4 months before I graduated. I started the brand in like November. And I got the first product in December. Right. And it was homecoming season. And me and my homeboy Ant, we was trying to figure out what we was gonna wear to the homecoming concert or whatnot. And like the vest was popular around the time. So we like, oh yeah, we can do a vest, whatnot, blase. And we also just had like our refund checks had just hit or something like that. And like me being the little hustler dude hanging around little hustlers, you know what I'm saying? We trying to figure out ways to flip our refund check. You feel me?
I love it.
I'm like, we trying to figure out how to flip this refund check. It's our senior year. The other refund checks, we done had a making those mistakes we was talking about. You feel me?
So how much was the refund check?
Refund check probably it wasn't even that much, to be honest with you. Probably like less than 3.
So about less than $3,000. And did you use the entire $3,000 to birth LGR? No?
I did not even use, so I only probably used like, I don't even remember. Oh, so matter of fact, man, that's crazy you said that. So matter of fact, the first LGR items were bought from pre-orders. That's crazy. So I had that's how the store goes. So me and Ant was coming up with the design. And well, no, we was thinking of ways to flip our refund check. And I was like, man, we start a clothing brand, something like that, sell t-shirts or something like that. And we was like, yeah. And so we was designing the vest. And so I was in class and I was doodling. And the Island Baby, that little guy right there. I've been doing things like that, like characters like that, since I was in like 7th grade, for real. Me and my homeboy used to always draw. And so yeah, I had doodled it on the page where I was coming up with the design for the vest. And I get to the crib because he my roommate. So I get to the crib, I'm like, yo, this is what I'm thinking about putting on the vest. You're like, dang, but I joined hard right there. You might as well put that on the vest. He talking about the album. I'm like, you talking about this? I'm like, man, I'll always be drawing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, he liked it, and I liked it because I always do them things. So like, I started asking people like, hey, do you like this design? What could be better? And then as people were saying like, yeah, they like it, I had my LB, I'm in the frat, shout out to Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, my LB Jazz. He in the art major and stuff like that. So he do graphic designing and create logos and stuff like that. So I'm like, yo, I need you to enhance this for me. And so basically he put his little twist on it, bam. So now I got like a nice, real hard outline. So clean, because I can't really draw like that. I just doodle. That's why, So shout out to all the real arts and crafty people. And so I started walking around campus. Like, if you was to speak to me, I'm a hustler. So like when I got my mind on that vision, like that thing, like that's what I'm thinking about before that's what's on my mind. And so like if you was to look at me, speak to me, say anything that you dare to open your mouth to me and look like you want to listen to me, I ask you like, yo, do you like this design? Can you see this on a shirt? What my favorite question to ask the people was, what don't you like about it? What could make it better? And just, like mentally collecting feedback. And then the first LGR items I released, right, was for women. It was for the I had the crop top hoodies for the women, right? And I was doing pre-orders for them. So I'm like, I done had like mocked up because by this time I done got the artwork digitalized and like everything just moving. So I'm really just like trial and error, doing everything for the first time, like really just with it. You see that boy hat? I say FIWB. Really just going for it.
What does that mean?
Huh?
What does FIWB mean?
It means fuck it, we ball. Or you can't tell that to your mama or auntie, you can tell that it stands for forever inspired with bravery. However you choose to take it, they both mean to go for it, take risks and apply actions to your vision.
So yes, I don't want to cut you off, but I feel like it's some important stuff that you talked about and I want to break down. So the first thing, let's go back. You said your first like launch of Let's Get Rich, you didn't really invest no money right off the bat because you did pre-orders. So you know how people always say it takes money to make money. Do you believe that myth?
Kinda.
Why?
Kinda and not kinda, because I got my stuff digitalized. By the time I showed it to them to offer them a product for them to purchase, like I told you, I got my stuff professionally done by a person who does logos. who is known for the logo. So really, that when I talked about that networking thing earlier, I'm really tapping in my bag and network. You know what I'm saying? Like my bag of resources. You see what I'm saying? Like these people I'm cool with that got these talents, these certain knacks, and benefiting, like using them. Not using them, but like, did I pay them? Yeah. Facts. So that's not using them, but like benefiting off of their talents, like
Yeah,
Now,
I get that.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm using them, but it's like I see the worth in their talent, and
Exactly. And the reason why I ask you that is because I really do think that's a myth. Like, I used to think that it takes money to make money, but now I don't. It may take money to make more money, to scale a business, but I don't necessarily think that it takes money to make money. I think that all it takes is time and boldness, honestly, especially because we live in a digital world right now. And I mean, I could give y'all examples of it, but I'm gonna just leave that with y'all. So that can be like a little token of inspiration. Like, you don't have to have $3,000. You don't have to have, 10 grand. What do you need to be willing to invest something? Yes, I would say so. But do you need something to make money or money to make money? I don't necessarily agree with that myth. So the second thing I want to talk about, you said that every person that you walk by, if they was breathing, if they looked like they was gonna say something to you, you was asking them, what you think about this? And that's real life surveying. And sometimes that's something that people don't necessarily do. How important do you think it is to survey? Do you feel like it just depends on what type of industry or what type of business you're about to create?
my personal opinion off of surveying,
Yeah.
well, it's multiple ways to take surveys.
Okay.
I mean, which way you talking about surveying? Like how I was walking around taking like mental notes and like keeping a mental survey, or are you talking about like actually sit like, hey, do you mind taking this survey for me?
No,
Do
I
you
mean like just surveying,
like?
period. Just asking
Oh
potential customers like, would you be willing to buy this? Or do you like, what are your thoughts on surveying? Do you feel like it just depends on what business you're in to survey people?
no, I think you should survey in every business because you always want to know your consumers, how they emotions, like how they feel. Like, no, this is, well, if it's clothing. I like this material versus this material. Like you be like, okay, wow, like a lot of people like this quality better than this one. I'm gonna, still do these for the people who like these, but I'm gonna really pay attention to this one because this is where the more reaction is at right now. And yeah, always serving. Always serve. You want to know what your consumers. Did it just glitches now? Consumers thinking.
Yeah, I love it. So now talk to us about this journey. So you did pre-orders. It was for women crop top hoodies. Um, that went crazy. People supported it. Now talk to us about how you have continued to basically elevate LGR and stay relevant because people start stuff all the time. It's easy to start something, but how do you keep the momentum?
Well, actually, like when I got people to purchase pre-orders, which means like they bought the product before they could actually physically touch it. They just like had to see my vision, and I had probably like damn it, like 30 pre-orders. I said, yeah, I got a good idea on my hand. Like I got like 30 females
Yeah.
to pre-order clothes that they never even seen. Like I don't even have the "Let's Get Rich" letters and nothing like that. I just that. You feel me? So that was a lot of motivation right there. That time I went to the dollar store when they go buy me a receipt book. I had to be like, these people that I'm serious. Like that's the only way I know how to show them that I'm like real shit. I had to go get a receipt book. I'm like,
So
okay,
they would.
get you a receipt, huh? Here's your receipt. Like, hey, I got this. I got your name, your number, what size, what color you want. I will be contacting you throughout the motions of the shipment and the process of the clothing. And like I was just trying to do like everything the right way. I ain't want nobody to feel like I was scamming them,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And especially when your name got credibility to it, you feel me? You know, like, and then I'm not necessarily knowing the actual turnaround process because it's my first. So they were like, when is it gonna come back? I'm like, 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? That was cap. But I didn't know no better though. I didn't really know. I just knew that like, okay, I had to order these items from here. They had to get here. Then when they got here, I had to get them made. And then that time process, like, but the good thing about it, nobody was really like tripping on it. They was just like happy to know that I was keeping them actually updated, all 30 of them. I made sure of it. And after that, he's just been on and popping after that, to be honest with you. Consistency.
Mm-hmm. So have you experienced any challenges from Let's Get Rich? Because I know it was a time period where, I mean, Let's Get Rich paid your bills, your leisure activities, everything. But then it came a time where you had to get a full-time job. So talk about the transition from being a full-time entrepreneur to then going to get a job and trying to basically balance the two.
Coronavirus. Nah, that's fine. Nah, for the yeah, my whole, because like I said, I started the brand right like 4 months before I graduated college. One of the reasons I wanted to start a business and flip my refund check because I wanted to start a business because I knew I was about to graduate, and I was like, dang, I don't want to just depend on, no job for finances, you know what I'm saying, for like money. And so my first year out of school, I was living off of Let's Get Rich for real, for real. I was like, the brand was just moving like that. Like, and it was moving faster than me. Like I really couldn't, at that time, I couldn't even afford the speed that it was moving because it's like so much people wanted so many different things. Like it was like going crazy. Then
So pause
back,
right. I'm sorry. So when you say you couldn't keep up, do you mean like you didn't have the inventory? You didn't have the money to like invest more? Talk to me about that.
um okay, so mind remember I said like college and all that stuff, make mistakes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then you say, yeah, you Let's Get Rich was paying for your rent, and then emphasis on leisure. Emphasis on leisure. So like I wasn't really but budgeting the best because it's like this, right? Let's say, okay, rent was taking Let's Get Rich profits.
Okay.
Leisure was taking Let's Get Rich profit because that's what's bringing the income. Now what's left is what I have to flip. Mm. I wasn't budgeting that the best then when I first started. Mm-hmm. I was making enough for rent. That was the goal for real. Like rent was the goal. I need to make the rent money. You feel me? Every month. Once I made the rent money, everything is profit for real.
Peaches and cream. But I feel like a valuable lesson that a lot of our listeners or basically anybody that watches this video can see like the importance of budgeting. And if you have a business, like your business needs to pay you like you're an employee, right or wrong.
Right.
Because if not, then it'll come to a place where, your business can lack because your investments or the money you had to invest in your business is going too much towards like leisure and stuff you want to buy and just like, personal Tevin.
Right. So basically I had to separate Let's Get Rich money from Tevin's money.
Exactly.
So, but I'm still doing good though. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about my rent being late. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. So, the thing is, what happened? All right. So now it's like March 20. It's March. And what year is this? It had to be 19, maybe 20. when Corona started, 20
Yeah,
in
20.
20. So it's like March 2020. So in March 2020, I had a Let's Get Rich pop up shop hosted on. It's the Creative Assets pop up shop. I was having at Clapham University, and this is all right before the pandemic has started. And like it's promotion's good. This is actually like my third or fourth pop-up shop at this time. Like I've been, like I said, I was being active for pop-up shops, fashion shows, backstage at concerts, whatever it was, I was there. And I was hosting a pop-up shop, and it was good. I had a lot of vendors coming out. I had some performers and stuff coming out. It was just a whole vibe. It was the first fried chicken Wednesday back from spring break. Everybody just not coming back from spring break. So the vibes is just, energy is up, is everything is good weather, all that. And then CNN, coronavirus. And so all right, so when all that motion happened, right? Quarantine. So they basically, long story short, postponed the event. I thought they was gonna cancel, they postponed it. I was nervous at first because they postponed it, because I'm like, man, I know people done took off specifically for this day,
Right.
just to get here, and then made plans just to get here on this day. Like, dang, now I got a whole day able to come on April 13th. They pushed it to April 13th. It was supposed to be March 23rd. And I was nervous at first, but then more vendors and stuff was still paying to be a part of the venue. So like I already kind of like had profited already from the vendors and stuff like that. And before even selling the product. And then bam, March 13th, whenever it was, they said no pop-up shop, no, every quarantine, campus shut down, everything shut down, the city shut down. And then so I had to refund back everybody their bread. Whole time the vendors and stuff is kind of sad because they done spent bread on inventory to make their investments and get a return on their investments. I know I spent money out that I wanted to, that I invested specifically for this day, and I'm knowing that it's going to be a high, supposed to be a good business day. And then so I had to refund everybody money back. That didn't really feel good, but I knew what the right to do, because
Right.
I'm not even that money hungry for real to even try to thank everybody, especially for a reason. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then but like, yeah, like that's when I was like, wow, this is real. I'm not no social media dude for real, for real. I don't make things happen by getting on social media and making TikToks and stuff like that. That's not me. I hustle outside. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now they telling me I can't go outside. Like, I'm outside. They tell me I can't go outside. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, what? So like that was like kind of nervous. Now I'm thinking about, dang, so now my consumers are scared of money issues right now,
Right.
because people losing jobs, companies are closing, people not working, people are becoming hoarder to whatever they got. They're trying to save whatever they got right now, because everybody just don't know right now,
The
literally.
last thing they worry about is buying some clothes.
Last thing they're worrying about is buying some clothes and spending some, because you ain't going nowhere, everything closed.
Right.
So that was like a little nervous. I was like, wow, I didn't prepare for this. Like, I did not prepare for this right here. So now I'm stuck with all my money in this clothes I done invested for this event, and whatever money I got left. But I'm like, I gotta get a job. My homeboys, hey, hook me up with that job you said you had.
But I feel like that speaks to your character a lot too, because sometimes some people would just be too prideful. That ego would be too big to be like, I don't want to get no job. But the good thing about just being smart and being a forward thinker, period, you know when you have to pivot. You know when you
Yeah,
have to pivot.
you gotta know how to adapt.
Right.
Like that's why people would be like, did your is the business doing bad and nothing like that? I was like, no, the business not doing bad. It's just adapting to the current situation. Like, I never looked at it like it was going down. It's just like, oh, just adapting to a new thing right now. It happens, highs and lows. And what was I about to say? So yeah, I got a job, right? But getting a job actually taught me something, right? So one, the business didn't really slow down as much as I thought it would. In other words, I was still getting product off. And I was making money from work. And I was like, okay, so now I'm getting paid and I'm getting paid. And now I'm seeing the difference of having Tevin's money and Let's Get Rich money. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, so now that I learned it's real, like if you're an entrepreneur right now and you have a little more time on your hands than meet it, ain't nothing wrong getting a 9 to 5. Like what they say, 9 to 5, pay the bills, 6 to 10, builds the wealth. You see what I'm saying? So that taught me that lesson right there. That was that experience I had to teach me that lesson.
What did COVID teach you about being prepared, period, financially?
When them old folks say, prepare for a rainy day, it rained. And and I wasn't prepared. I had no umbrella, no raincoat. I just had faith.
Yeah. And that was an important lesson for me too, because I mean, I was not a full-time entrepreneur during that time. I was still like, I hadn't graduated yet, but I had lost my job, which was like my main stream of income. I had 2 jobs at the time. And I was like, dang, how am I gonna pay my rent? Am I gonna stay in Charleston and struggle to pay my rent, or am I gonna find a loophole in my lease and take my behind back home? And that even taught me a lot about being prepared, because it's not if something's going to happen, it's when something happens. Like you got to be ready.
Got to. That's what I learned from that. Yeah, that was a whole, that season of my life right there. It was a learning lesson right there.
So now, Tevin, talk to us about the importance of building relationships, because LGR is in malls. LGR has been worn by influencers, rappers. Like LGR is a huge deal on social media and basically outside in person. So talk to us about how you built some of those relationships and like how you got connected with certain people.
I had to learn to value people more than I value money. Facts.
Love it.
I had to learn that. Not really, but I had to learn to know to do that. Like,
how does that look for anybody that is wanting to build those relationships but don't really know like how to do it, or might be scared to approach somebody because they're putting them on a pedestal? How do you build those relationships?
So, like, it's different ways that I built relationship with people that I'm really close with. Like that, like we met during a time of hardships together, or we probably met learning something together where we both didn't know, but we was learning as we go, and we tagged along because it's finding that value, seeing that in that person. And it's different stories that I have to how I built relationships to people that have been like an impact behind the scenes for the brand. Like it's people I met in college, from my hometown, and people that they know.
Yeah.
So when you solid with somebody that's tapped in with a lot of people, you're tapped in with a lot of people, especially if they're living unselfishly. I'm sorry.
Right. I know for a fact that starting, or you okay over there?
Yeah, good. Pretty good.
Okay, so I know for a fact building something from the ground up, everybody is not going to buy in. So can you tell me, like, and when I say buy in, basically like believe in the vision until other people believe in the vision. And it's almost like, they kind of bandwagon, hop on the train. Did you experience that at all? And if you did, how did you deal with it?
Not really, but kind of. So the only people who kind of hit me emotionally, not really seeing the vision that I wanted them to see in the brand, was like my immediate close friends and family, like the people who I was expecting the support from first, like off the gate. Like it took them until other people seen it to really buy into it too, which is cool because that's just that's how I go,
Yeah.
you know.
And sometimes people need, like, that, how can I say it? That social proof. Like,
Right.
other people vouch for you, other people believe
Yeah.
in, and when it hops or when it takes off, they're like, oh, okay. I, I
Right.
understand now. And we don't like it to be that, for it to be like that. But I always tell people, don't take offense. It's your vision. God gave you the vision. Do the work that it takes, and then just go from there. Whoever's going to support you is going to support you. But you can't use your energy focusing on who's not supporting you or who doesn't believe in the vision.
Exactly. But it also fuels you, like to like make you want to show them that they're wrong.
Yeah, I get that as well. Is there anything or any advice that you would give to someone who is an aspiring entrepreneur, somebody who wants to start a clothing brand? What words of wisdom do you have to give them just based off of your own personal experiences?
Apply actions to your vision. Don't wait on nobody. Preparation. And you don't lose. You always have learning lessons. In other words, because you will fail at some point. You're not gonna do everything perfect. But every time you fail or feel like you in that negative space, you really just in the process of being molded for that next blessing that you're about to enter, like that new season. Like, so just like always keep a positive mindset. Stay around dreamers. Stay away from still people. And still people, still I wish I did, still moping around with their head down, still just, not really, just taking it day by day, like for like no motivation for none. Like stay away from them type of people. They make you do what they do on accident.
On accident. Oh, don't let that go over your head. They make you do what they do on accident. Sometimes if you let people, get too close or get inside of the bubble, like Tevin just said, that stuff will rub on you on accident.
On accident. And live unselfishly. Like be a teacher, be a student.
Yeah.
Like know when to talk, know when to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. And have faith.
Have faith.
But faith with no action.
What's that?
Nothing else.
Y'all got to do the word. You got to do the word. So the last thing that I want to talk about is this principle that you're living and breathing out right now. And it was basically something that I applied to my life before I went into full-time entrepreneurship. But in Rich Dad Poor Dad, he talks about working to learn, not working for money. So talk to us about how you are currently working to learn, not working for money, and how your full-time job right now in Charleston is actually improving and helping you with building Let's Get Rich.
Yeah, right. So that's a good question. So when I moved back to Charleston, right, I had got the opportunity to move my merchandise to sell my product in Citadel Mall, which is a mall located in Charleston, South Carolina. And as I was in the mall, because mind you now, I was in Orangeburg, this whole pandemic thing that happened. I done got a job. I done figure out the difference from having Tevin money and Let's Get Rich money. So now I'm moving my product in the mall, right? I'm like, I should get me a little job because I'm also, one of my goals was to rebranding Charleston. Like I want the same energy that it had up the road here. Like this is the home city. Like I gotta tap in with the home city. And so I was like, what better way to tap in with the city to get a job with the city people? So I'm putting my stuff in the mall. I'm thinking like, because it was on my mind, I was thinking about it earlier, and like I need to find a job. And then I was like, man, I might as well find a job in the mall. All these stores right here, clothing stores. I can be in here around the energy that I want to be around, like the fashion, like, so I'm like, okay, bet that's what I'm gonna do. So I don't move all the stuff in the mall. I went back in the car for about an hour and I filled out all the application to all the Foot Lockers, Champs, and Jimmy Jazzes and all the clothes stores in the mall, every position. And sure enough, them boy called me back and them boy done hired me as assistant manager at Champs. And so like and having that position, I learned and had the experience of the skills to manage. So like learning from how the $1 million corporations and stuff move behind the scenes, not just the experience of you coming in and shopping and getting your stuff and leaving. Now I'm looking at how they calculate these products, how they calculate conversion rates. I'm looking like their marketing schemes, how often the marketing schemes change. I'm learning how to manage employees, like manage people and having to have empathy for what they have going on. And like I'm learning like just so much behind the scenes that I basically take those skills and apply it to my business.
Yeah.
What y'all data sheet look like and why it looked like this. Okay, well now I know my data sheets need to look like this and why I need to look like this. Like I went from looking at it for the first time, like this is Chinese, to like, okay, I understand this and this, why this match up with this. I understand why we even taking track of this and why it matters in the long term or in the short term. I learned how to manage the business during slow seasons. I learned business doing fast. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just learning how the winners do it and being able to apply those actions apply that knowledge to my business.
I love that. I love that so much because you're real life learning on somebody else's dime. And when it's time for you to leave Champs, it's not like you leaving Champs like, oh, I'm so happy I'm doing this job, blah, blah, blah. No, you leaving with education that you couldn't even get in college. This is real life experience that you can apply to your business and just, grow it and scale it.
I'm trying to tell you. Like, yeah. So basically, like, I'm basically enrolled at Champs University, but they pay me and I just give them my time for exchange.
Right. And I want that to basically like, really set on some people's hearts because we live in a day and age where, everybody want to quit their job and just jump into entrepreneurship. But it is okay. I call it learning on somebody else's dime. But you have to be very strategic with where you are working. So if you want to one day be a doctor or one day be a lawyer, like no offense, but you don't have no business working in a grocery store. Like that might bring some value to you. However, I would just want to be in an environment where the people are doing what you want to do because you getting that experience, you learning that can then help you in the future. Okay, so before we close out, the last and final thing I want to ask you, I started Think Like a Mogul because it was Financial Literacy Month in April. However, the Responsible Home Girl, the entire brand is around define mediocrity and building real wealth. So here, like on my background, I have mediocrity is unacceptable. Can you tell me what that means to you? So that's the first question. And then the second one is what piece of money advice have you like received or learned from your own path on your own past that you still use today?
Mediocrity is unacceptable. That's just what I was like. That's basically faith with no action is dead. Mm-hmm. And it's like you can believe and you can have the vision, but until you apply actions to those visions, you're dreaming. It's like take the time to turn your dreams into reality. They be so rushing, like they be so like everything that happened didn't happen overnight. Like it's still early. I only been doing this for almost not even a full 3 years yet. It's
Right.
not only half of 3 years yet. Like almost half of 2.5 years, not even 2.5 years yet. So like I'm still learning as I'm going. I'm still making mistakes that's sharper than me for tomorrow.
Right.
You know, and it's fun, man. You have fun with it. And then you said some money advice.
Yeah, money advice that somebody has given you or that you've learned from your own past experiences that you still use today.
Spend some, save some, invest some, and making sure those things are equally balanced. Because if not, then it's gonna get rocky somewhere. Either if you're spending too much, you're not investing enough money to have that product or that whatever capital you need for your business. And then if you investing too much, you might not have enough money to spend on your bills and necessities. You see what I'm saying? Because you threw all of it in investment. Or if you're saving too much, you don't have no money to spend and you don't have no money to invest. So it's like making sure those things are like equally balanced, and you'll be all right. Spend some, save some, invest some.
And give some.
And give some. Yeah, be a blessing to others too.
Facts. So Tevin, I really appreciate you hopping on Think Like a Mogul. For one, I always tell you I love your hustle, I love your grind, I love how you connect with people, and you are like the epitome of living unselfishly. Like just from my time of knowing you, and I know you really well, I just know for a fact, like you are going to do amazing things. You are already doing amazing things. So, is there anything else that you would like to share with the people before we hop off?
Forever inspired with bravery.
Mm-hmm.
Take risks and actions to your vision. And be the best you. Be true to you before you be true to anybody else.
Got you. I love it. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. I hope you found some value from this episode. I hope it inspires you to take action and apply actions to your vision. Take some time to turn your dreams into reality. And always remember, defy mediocrity and build real wealth. Bye, y'all. See you next time.